Hello and welcome to this bourbon whiskey taste challenge. I have two bourbon whiskeys. This is Winn-Dixie bourbon whiskey, genuine Kentucky bourbon whiskey. Doesn't say straight bourbon for some reason. It's aged 3 years, so it's past the minimum, which is years for straight bourbon. But anyway, there it is. Not much to look at, just a horse and a jockey. From Wide World Importers for Winn-Dixie stores. This is Ezra Brooks, introduced in 1957, not 1800 like the bottle says, but could be a connection to 1800 and 7 generations and all that. But the brand Ezra Brooks hit the market in 1957. Sour mash, charcoal mellowed Kentucky bourbon whiskey from Luxco. This is an odd one. I found it at a store in Jefferson Parish. It was $10.99. This is a 2015 bottle, but now they're showing on their website that it's only produced for Australian export, and the little 50 milliliter bottle is just for export in general. The Australian export gets a 70 centiliter bottle, not a 75 centiliter, so they're getting kind of ripped off. Now, Winn-Dixie, if you get on their website, they claim their company is 100 years old. Well, that's a yes and no answer. Winn-Dixie was formed in 1955 when Winn grocery stores and Dixie grocery stores merged, Winn-Dixie. So one of those does go back to 1925. So I guess you could say it could be traced back 1925, 100 years ago. So they got their 100th anniversary promotions going on, but the actual Winn-Dixie merge, or the Winn-Dixie, is 1955, just like Frito-Lay and Pepsi merged in 1965 to make Pepsi Coke. But the two companies go back much further than that as a separate entity. But anyway, I'm not going to argue about it. It's not worth it. These are both the same shade of amber, not really copper. I'll show you the screen share for what it's worth, which isn't much. So Winn-Dixie, there you go. It says Our Brands. It used to say at Winn-Dixie, but now they changed it to Our Brands, which I don't understand. Maybe, I know they own Harvey's grocery chain, so maybe they sell it at Harvey's also. I don't know. All right, anyway, you can only buy it in the store. No delivery, no curbside. $15.99, cheap price for a handle of bourbon. I've been seeing this stuff since I was a little kid. People would buy it for others and whatever, something cheap. Used to be in glass bottles though, but there it is, in stock today. Who is Wide World Importers? What's Sazerac? Trace is who's making it, but they don't put their Buffalo Trace name on it. They use a Wide World Importers, probably a team that handles private label. Okay, Luxco, all it is a list of, and if you go choose Ezra Brooks on the list, you'll see that it shows the 80 proof for export only. Now, they could choose to bring it back for America, but they have a new, they replaced this one within the last 10 years with a new Ezra Brooks standard, 90 proof, which is only photos I could find on the internet. And then about 2 years ago, they jumped it to 99 proof. So they reversed the trend. Most liquors have been dropping, from 90 down to 86 to 80 proof, whereas Ezra Brooks went the other way from 80 to 90 to 99 proof. I guess to give out something to stand out on. Walmart doesn't have it anymore. They had a bunch of it 2 weeks ago, and the one over here, all of a sudden it's gone. So I don't know what the story is on that, but that's the story. That is the story. Okay. Yeah, smells like sweet corn, corn kernels, almost like popcorn, without salt, obviously, or butter. Yeah, just standard grain corn. Some rye, probably rye whiskey in there, perhaps malted barley whiskey. Even less aroma. So with some aroma, I'm thinking it must be Ezra Brooks. It got a little something going for it. Could a bourbon whiskey be 100% corn? It could be. I don't know of any that are. They probably have them out there. The other grains don't matter as long as it's 51% corn. The other 49% can be any type of grain. Can even be unaged grain, but that would be a different class of bourbon called blended bourbon, which I don't see those too much anymore. That kind of died out. All right. On the taste, sweet corn. These bourbons, they taste like candy corn to me, like they give out at Halloween, or you can buy it all year. But charred oak, well, I guess a little. Neither one of these is going to have any flavoring or coloring added. Okay, that would not be allowed, whether it's straight bourbon or not. That's not. Now there's other classes of bourbon with you can have coloring and flavoring added. In fact, but these are not that class. Okay, good morning, happy Sunday, Jay in chat, says Jason. By the way, what? Oh, that Anheuser-Busch Pabst is really great. It tastes like a premium beer to me now. Yeah, it really does. They really hit the ball out the ballpark. Now, whether people that didn't like Pabst in the past would give it a chance, I don't know. Because they're probably just thinking it's the same old thing that they didn't like in the past. But it is not the same old Pabst Blue Ribbon. Wow, these are close. Close. Distilled in Kentucky. Obviously, it have to be if it's genuine Kentucky whiskey. It could not be distilled anywhere else. That's the story on it. It's basic bourbon. This one has more barrel char. That one has barely any. You know, like that charred oak. It's there. This camera doesn't like to stay focused. Come on, stay focused. You know, you tell a child, stay focused. That's the Ezra Brooks. It's got more character. It's an A, whereas that one's a B. Excellent. Good. Wow, that's the Winn-Dixie. Shows you what I know. This Ezra Brooks got me so confounded. Yeah, there is the barrel char. Oh, well, I get mixed up every time. So you might say, I'm not watching. Oh, which is cheaper? The Winn-Dixie is about the cheapest bourbon you can buy in America. $15.99 this month. Now that could change next month. So you could say to me, you don't know what you're talking about when it comes to Ezra Brooks. And I would say, I agree with that. Because every time I do it in a taste challenge, it tastes different, which whiskeys do make each other taste different. And most of the time, I get it wrong. I can't tell it apart. So does it stand out from other bourbons? Absolutely not. On the other hand, since it's cheap, at least it's 80 proof, which nobody can find. So the whole taste challenge is sort of irrelevant, unless you're in Australia, but then they can't get Winn-Dixie, you know. But it's just going to continue this way. I think it's going to be the same thing happening when I do the other brands. It's not going to be any different. It's just going to be a big colossal failure, but I can't worry about it. Some bourbons are like that. They just in the mix. They don't stand out. And anytime I think I'm getting a handle on the flavor, turns out I don't have a handle on the flavor. So Winn-Dixie wins by default. Why? It's cheaper, and I couldn't tell it apart. There's no other answer. So, and I'm over here talking about this one's excellent, this one's good. Well, there you go on that. All right. Well, will I do any better tomorrow? I seriously doubt it. But luckily, I'm getting to the end of the Ezra Brooks taste challenges. I can sort of recoup with this odd Canadian whiskey coming up. All right. But y'all take care. Sorry I bombed out again, but blame it on Ezra Brooks. All right. Bye, everybody.